Hi guys! Welcome to this channel. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. Top 9 places to visit in Australia. So make sure to watch the full video. 9. Sydney Opera House, New South Wales. Most people think of the Opera House when they hear Sydney, Australia. Shaped like a giant seashell or a billowing sail, this iconic building on Bennelong Point in Sydney is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the world's greatest architectural monuments. The location is great. Water surrounds the building on 3 sides and is restricted from the south to the Royal Botanic Gardens. Danish architect Jorn Utzon won an international competition for his design but abandoned the project due to technical and financial problems. Construction was finally completed in 1973 for 10 times the original budget. By this time Utzon had left the country without returning to see his magnificent work. Today you can catch a show, dine at a restaurant, or see the sights of the Sydney Opera House on a tour. Structures include theatres, studios, concert halls, exhibition halls, and cinemas. 8. Great Barrier Reef Marine Park, Queensland. You can't leave Australia without seeing the Great Barrier Reef. Listed as a World Heritage Site, this natural wonder is one of the largest living structures on Earth. A must-visit for divers, snorkelers, island enthusiasts, and nature lovers. It includes over 3,000 coral reefs, 600 continental islands including the beautiful Whitsunday Group, 300 coral reefs, coastal mangrove islands. One of the 7 wonders of the world, the park stretches for 2,300 kilometers along the state of Queensland on Australia's east coast, distance between Mexico and Vancouver. It's no surprise that the Great Barrier Reef is one of Australia's premier diving and snorkeling destinations. Prefer dry conditions? You can view the reef from an underwater observatory and a glass-bottom boat. Travelers have many options for visiting the Great Barrier Reef. You can cruise around the island, take a scenic flight, take a day trip to the island, or enjoy snorkeling and reef diving. The main starting points for excursions from the mainland are Cairns, Port Douglas, and Airlie Beach. 7. Uluru Kata Tjuta National Park, Northern Territory. Also in the park is a red-domed rock called Kata Tjuta, Ulcas. As the sun goes down, tourists flock to see Uluru and Kata Tjuta change color according to the changing light. The best way to appreciate this sacred site is to join a tour led by Aboriginal and Ranger guides. Located in the heart of Australia's Red Centre, Uluru, formerly Ayers Rock, is one of Australia's most photographed natural wonders. Vibrant red pillars form the centerpiece of Uluru Kata Tjuta National Park, a World Heritage Site jointly managed by Parks Australia and its traditional landowners, the Ongu tribe. Meaning shady place in the local Aboriginal dialect, Uluru rises 348 meters above the surrounding plains. Most of its mass is hidden beneath the Earth's surface. 6. Sydney Harbour Bridge, New South Wales. The Sydney Harbour Bridge, along with the Opera House, is one of Australia's major architectural landmarks. Affectionately nicknamed the Clothes Rack, this impressive structure is the largest steel arch bridge in the world. One of the best things to do in Sydney is to climb with your guide to the top of the bridge for breathtaking views of the harbour and city. Rising 134 meters above the harbour, the 500 meters long bridge connects Sydney's North Shore with the CBD. In addition to the sidewalk, the bridge crosses 2 rail lines and 8 lanes for vehicular traffic, each changing direction with the flow of traffic. 5. Melbourne Culture, Victoria. As Australia's second largest city, Melbourne is a popular stop on many Australian itineraries, especially for cultural vultures. Galleries, theatres, restaurants, shops, and a distinctly European flair are the highlights of this sophisticated city on the Yarra River. It is also a green city with parks, gardens, and open spaces covering nearly 1/3 of the total area. Melbourne has many cultural attractions. Admire masterpieces at the National Gallery of Victoria, catch a show at the Melbourne Arts Centre, or head to Federation Square. See Australian art at the Ian Potter Gallery and learn about Australian screen culture at the Australian Centre for the Moving Image, ACMI. Would you like to go back to nature? Follow the Aboriginal Heritage Trail in the Royal Botanic Gardens. And if sporting culture is most important to you, go see a game at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Cricket is the preferred sport in summer. Aussie football in winter. Melbourne also has a rich history. You can see it in grand Victorian buildings built with gold rush money, and feel Melbourne shopping in the elegant arcades and Queen Victoria Market, where goods have been sold for over 100 years. 4. Bondi Beach, New South Wales. The most famous beach in the world. Bondi Beach is just a 15-minute drive from Sydney's city centre. A great place to experience Sydney's beach culture. Sunbathe on the golden sand, surf or cool off on a hot summer day, but make sure you stay between the flags. Few cities in the world can claim to have such an enchanting piece of sand and sea so close to the city. No wonder this is one of Sydney's best beaches. You can also discover some history here. Bondi is home to one of the oldest surf rescue clubs in the world. A lot of entertainment can be found far from the coast in Bondi. Wander along the promenade from Bondi to Bronte. It starts at the southern end of the beach and follows a scenic 6 kilometers coastline along sandstone cliffs. If you work up an appetite, there are plenty of cafes and restaurants nearby. You can also find bargains at the Sunday market or take a dip in the ocean pool. Bondi also has a rough side. Many tourists and locals gather here to celebrate Christmas and celebrate the New Year. This is a favorite place for travelers. Tip for the wise: if you swim in Bondi, you must swim between the red and yellow flags. Strong tides often wash unsuspecting swimmers out to sea, especially at the southern end of this kilometer-long coast. There's a reason Australians created a reality show called Bondi Rescue. 3. Dalytree National Park, Queensland. A World Heritage Site in the wet tropics, Dalytree National Park is located in North Queensland. It is one of the oldest ecosystems on Earth. The area is owned by the East Kuku-Yalanji Aborigines, and many of its natural features are of great spiritual significance. The park is divided into 2 main parts. Mossman Gorge, where crystal clear water flows over granite boulders, and Cape Tribulation, one of Australia's most beautiful places to visit. Here, rainforest meets coral reefs along the white sandy beaches of the Coral Sea. This incredible coastline is one of the few places in the world where 2 of the planet's richest ecosystems converge. The incredible biodiversity of the park includes more than 18,000 plant species and many animal species including cassowaries, alligators, Ulysses the giant blue butterfly, and Bennett's secret tree kangaroo. Port Douglas, a resort town south of the park, is a great base for a wildlife safari in the park. 2. Kari, Fraser Island, Queensland. World Heritage listed Kari, Fraser Island, is one of Australia's most unique places worth visiting. It is the world's largest sand island located between Bundaberg and Brisbane on the east coast of Australia. Here you'll find endless stretches of sand and sea, turquoise lakes, emerald rainforests, rippling dunes, and fascinating wildlife. Want some adrenaline? A 4WD drive along the rugged coast is one of Australia's best outdoor adventures. Along 75 miles of windswept beaches, you'll see rusty shipwrecks, cathedrals-colored sandstone cliffs, and fish-filled bubbles on rocks called champagne pools. Overland travel is not very exciting. Highlights include clear freshwater creeks and lakes, some sourced from springs and others nestled among tall dunes. An ancient rainforest filled with an amazing variety of plants and animals. Mackenzie Lake, Fraser Island, in the middle of Kari. Sharks, dolphins, and whales swim in the water, while on land you can see dingoes, bats, sugar gliders, and over 300 bird species. Nature lovers will find many other things to do on Fraser Island. Go on a whale-watching trip, take a sunset cruise, hike the Rainforest Trail from Grand Central Station, sail along Eli Creek, or soar over stunning scenery on a scenic flight. Access to Fraser Island involves taking a ferry from 2 major gateway cities, Rainbow Beach and Hervey Bay. A 4WD vehicle is required as there are no paved roads on the island. 1. Kakadu National Park, Northern Territory. When it comes to wildlife, Kakadu National Park has some of the best in Australia. Covering more than 19,840 square kilometers in the Northern Territory, it is the 2nd largest national park in the world. Within it, you can explore monsoon rainforests, mangrove swamps, rivers, canyons, ancient rock art, swamps, and waterfalls. Kakadu is also home to an amazing variety of wildlife. In addition to many mammals, reptiles, and fish, more than 300 species of birds live here, and freshwater and saltwater crocodiles lurk in the wetlands. To explore the diverse ecosystems of the park, cruise along the waterways or walk the extensive network of trails. You can even take a scenic flight. Kakadu National Park is easily accessible from Darwin during the dry season. It is about a 3-hour drive from the Northern Territory's capital. During the rainy season, November to April, flooding closes many roads and tourist attractions, but waterfalls and swamps can be at their best. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go.